What it do, baby? It's your boy Baki back with another one. Listen, this one's gonna be real quick. I just want to talk about this real quick because I got some other questions. They are bringing back Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Can we talk about this for a few moments here? And let's just discuss on what you guys think. I'm curious to know what my viewers, what my subscribers, what everybody thinks. What do you guys think? What is everyone thinking? Are we liking? Are we not liking? I'm gonna tell you what I think. Let's talk about it. All right, so to be honest with you, I'm not really excited for this, and I'll tell you why. The acting chops of Robert Downey Jr. are amazing, no doubt about it. I have no issues, qualms, or problems with that man's acting chops. My issue inherently lies within the story that Marvel is trying to create. They were already going somewhere, and then they ended up backpedaling, almost like DC. It's almost like DC and Marvel are doing another one of them dances, where they both get too close to the black hole and then one ends up out further than the other and then the other one comes in closer to get out further than the other. It's like, I don't know what's going on. But if you think about it, they're almost doing like DC moves because Kang the Conqueror, Jonathan Majors messed up and did what he did, whatever happened. They're like canceling everything that man's ever done and not even really acknowledging that he exists now and going somewhere completely different, as you can see, because the Kang dynasty is pretty much dead now, right? So they're bringing out Dr. Doom and he's going to be Robert Downey Jr. Now, the real question is he going to be an Iron Man, a Tony Stark variant? Or is he going to be just like literally Victor Von Doom where nobody knows who he is and they never like see his face to know that he's, Robert Downey Jr. You know what I'm saying? Like it's never like, hey, you look like that guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm actually very curious. There is a comic book. There's two different comic books. There's a comic book where Dr. Doom becomes Iron Man and there's a comic book where Iron Man becomes Dr. Doom. One is a what if comic book, I'm pretty sure, and I think the other one is not a what if comic book. The what if one would be the one that they would be taking more from, which is where I believe Victor Von Doom and Tony Stark are roommates in college instead of Reed Richards and Von Doom being college buddies. You know what I'm saying? And that ends up spiraling, and then Dr. Doom ends up doing something where he swaps their bodies, or not their bodies, but he swaps their minds without them knowing or without Tony knowing. So Tony doesn't know what's really going on, and it's a head full. I doubt they're gonna do any of that, but they might take certain beats and notes from that idea. You know what I'm saying? And maybe find a way to implement it into the MCU, which is usually what the MCU does. They take ideas from grander comics, and then they kind of like squeeze them out, and they get a little bit of juice, and then they use that juice and spread it across the whole goddamn table, Like I said, I'm not really the most excited for it because of that. That tells me that most likely it's going to be one of the two. He's an Iron Man variant, and this is a multiverse where Robert Downey Jr. becomes Victor Von Doom. They call him that. But if that happens, that's really not Dr. Doom, and that's really just Tony Stark varianting as Dr. Doom. If he's not from Latveria or wherever the hell Dr. Doom is called or from, right? Latveria, I think that's where he's from. If he's not from that location, then, it's going to not necessarily feel unearned, but it's not going to feel like Dr. Doom that we want to see. You understand what I'm saying to you? We all want to see Dr. Doom, but we want to see him realize against the Reed Richards and, Fantastic Four, and actually having that kind of back and forth synergy, just like you would want to see Professor Xavier and Magneto. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to see Magneto in this other movie where he's the main villain, and then it just feels like it would be just a cop out, right? Like those things kind of go together like peanut butter and jelly. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really just an iconic duo more than anything else. So that's kind of where my fears lie is, we're pushing for another Avengers movie, but all of the people who would care about Tony Stark aren't even really there anymore. Like what's Thor doing, right? We don't know where Thor is right now. Thor is off with what's her name from Love and Thunder, Love or whatever her name is, right? So no, right? Black Widow is gone. Uh, Captain America's gone. Hulk's around doing Hulk things. Uh, I mean, I guess you could say Falcon will care. Like, that's the thing, is like the emotional bondage to the characters that are in the MCU now, and like the main characters like um Kamala and like even Captain Marvel to a certain extent. Like, it just doesn't feel like it would resonate too well if they were like upset or like saw Robert or saw Tony and was like, "Oh my God, like it's Tony, like Tony, you're Doom." You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't seem like it's gonna resonate well. So to me, it almost feels like a cop out, and like it's a desperate play. It's a desperate ploy, a desperate play, a desperate move. And I personally don't think they even needed it. They should have just let things kind of breathe out for a moment, the way they've been doing. Because Deadpool versus Wolverine is about to make $1 bajillion. So like maybe that might have changed your guys' formula a little bit more. But doing this doesn't really excite me. I'm not sure how you guys feel about it. That's pretty much my whole thoughts about it. Is I loved him as Iron Man, and I think the cool thing would have been to bring another Iron Man in, honestly, from another multiverse or something like that, or just do another universe. I personally, here's what I would love to see from the MCU: get away from connecting everything. Stop it. Stop the connecting everything. You got to stay to everything. Everything's got to be a commercial. Now that you have the multiverse, make one-off stories. Make one-off movies. Make one-off things. So that way you don't have to have this long devoted, I gotta have been into the MCU for the last 20 years in order to keep up to know where things are now. You know what I'm saying? You need more things that diversify your palette to where we can just watch it, absorb it, consume it, and be done with it. And not be like, oh, absorbing, oh, but it's this leading into this, and this is leading into that. This is leading. You got all that needs to just slow the hell down, you know? It's going to work with Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine, because it's comedy, and that's Deadpool's speciality. You understand what I'm saying? So it's going to feel different in that movie than it does in the rest of these movies we've been dealing with for the last like 5-6 years, you know? After Endgame, it's pretty much been like tumbling, bumbling, you know? So for me personally, I'm not too excited about this. I'm gonna be honest with you. Wherever they take it, I'm super interested, but I'm not excited. You know, I'll watch it. I'll give it a shot when it happens, when it comes out. But for me personally, I thought it was better to just let him go. And you know, I don't blame Robert Downey Jr. for getting the bag, bro. I guarantee you they added 3 zeros on the end of whatever the fuck they was trying to give him before. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't blame that man at all, but I do blame the studio heads for that being like, this is your only way out. This is our only way out. What if we bring RDJ back as Doctor Doom? That's our way out. That's pretty lame, bro. There's so many people who could play Doctor Doom. There's so many people who you would have a chance to actually do really well with as Doctor Doom and make a compelling story, but you had to do a cop out to get some people in the seats. That's what it feels like. I'm not saying that's necessarily true, but that's what it feels like, come from somebody from an outside perspective, not knowing the inner dealings of what happened. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be it for me on this one, man. I don't know how I feel about this, man. It just doesn't roll right off my belly. But how do you guys feel about it? Let me know in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, please leave a like, thumbs up, and subscribe for your boy if you haven't done so. I'll see y'all on the next one, baby. Peace.